needless to say, ultimately we did get it off because they were going to saw it off. So, I redoubled my efforts and got it off intact. So that was one hurdle passed. But of course, by this time I'm thinking, oh my God, where are they taking? What's to become of it? And at this point, I'm dressed appropriately. I'm de-jewelry-eyed and ready to go. And back in the day, you could smoke in jail. And a lot of you know me as an inveterate and unapologetic tobacco smoker. I was back then too. And I had a pack of Marlboros. One thing that one of the foosball opponents that I hustled for gas money had given me by way of saying, yeah, all right, was a joint. One come on. That's the way I think today. And I had, without thinking, I put it in my cigarette pack and la la la. Well, as I'm about to go into the cell block, they take me from the matriculation room or whatever into the cell block, and I'm already, I had my little bundle of, like, if it's a thin cloth blanket, and a little pillow, okay, and a toothbrush for hygiene in the jail. And I had those in my hands, and she had my cigarettes, and she said, just a second. And she started going through the cigarettes, and I went, well, that's it. That's just it, because now I know about that. That's not a good thing. Improper registration out the window. And she rifled and dug and bent it and said, here you go. And handed it back to me. I was like, oh. Dodged a bullet there. Because it was still in there. She just didn't find it. So, anyway, so then I go into jail with my contraband. Which I couldn't believe. My good luck. I don't know why that's good luck. But they would give you your cigarettes, of course, but they wouldn't give you matches. Because, smoking's okay, but setting fire to things is not good. And so every time you wanted to smoke a cigarette, you had to call for the matron, and she would come and use a single match and light your cigarette. And look disgusted. How many cigarettes do you bitches have to smoke on? Again? You're considered tapering off? Cutting down? Well, so into this big major cell block, which is where the general pop, or gen pop, would congregate, we'd play cards, and they didn't have TVs in the cell blocks in those days. It was just all social networking. And they don't care, the majors don't care if it's your first time or your 51st time. They don't care, they just like, boot the small of your back and clang at the door and have fun. So in there I was, clutching my blanket and my pillow and my toothbrush. And one of the first people I met, as I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to put my bundle, a large, taller than I, and I'm kind of tall, I can't see that, Mr. Soundman. But she was taller than I, and much broader of shoulder, a blonde woman, who with us I took as a Germanic accent, asked me, but I got you on. Improperly That's right. You registered my vehicle properly. Because I heard, I'd seen enough women in cell block C cup to know fresh fish had to act out. Else they throw down. So I showed a little bit of attitude. And then, I thought, I've got to your muscle. Someone very helpful, a nice young black woman, told me that where to put my bundle, that this would be my bunk. And there were 4 to a small cell, so I'd have 3 other roomies, but this is where I put my kit. She's very attentive and very nice to me, and she introduced me to everyone, told me their names, and she would tell me what they were in for, kind of a backstory. She was very talkative, very gossipy kind of a girl. Rosemary, God bless her. And oh, I was going to change the names to protect the innocent, but she wasn't innocent. That's another story. About the only thing to do is play games, play cards. They give you cards or dominoes. At that point, I had not yet learned how to play dominoes, and I knew some card games, but I learned how to play euchre real quick. Okay, not many jailbirds in here. Because that should get a yeah. It's actually a really good game. But so I learned how to play euchre, and I waited in the rotation until I could play, and so give me something to do, And we're sitting at this big table, and there's the Germanic lady. She decided that she was going to get along with me because I looked like trouble. And we were playing euchre, and Rosemary took that time to tell me, in mid-bid, by the way, which is not something to mess with, about the backstory on Helga. Her name was Helga. Okay, Helga. And she was in the same cell block that I was in for heinously murdering her 9-month-old child by striking it repeatedly against a radiator. I didn't feel like playing cards anymore. Thank you, Rosemary. And Helga never moved from the table. Either she kept winning or people just didn't tell her to move. So off I went to my solitude. Well, night comes down, and Rosemary ends up being one of my cellies. Huh! Who knew? She told me to put my kid in her cell because she liked me. She wanted me to be a room cellie. I don't really remember the other 2 very much, the other 2 ladies that we bunked with, because Rosemary was just up in my grill all the time. She liked me. She was very enamored of me. I don't know why. Who's to say? But she was wanting me in the worst way, which is probably about the way she would have gotten me. Because all of this was coming at me very fast. Well, as I recall, in order to make my passage more smooth, I waited till we were all locked down in our individual cells, and let my cellies know that I had a little something. They like me now. We like you just fine. So I took out my little something, and I said, "Oh, should we call the matron for light?" There were no lights after lights out. But everyone in jail, they have their ways, And so one of the other girls, who I shall remain nameless because I don't know, had some fire, and we lit the joint. We passed around there going like, yes, because some of these girls have been in there for a little while, and they hadn't had any taste of anything recreational, or even approaching for some time. So I was a godsend to them. My marijuana was a godsend to them. But in order to smoke this, they said, here's how we do it. One of them smoked Cool cigarettes, which even if you're a smoker, I'm a die-hard Big Red Marlboro smoker, but you should take a hit of a Cool and feel like you need some strength. But she said, you gotta take this Cool cigarette. And we had toothpaste with our toothbrush. You put this Colgate on it. You smear the Colgate on it. Blow on it till it's dry. Then you light it. So if you take a hit of the joint, you gotta take a hit. Cool. God, this cell smells mini fresh. Now the other girls were acting like this was the bomb. You know, this was like they were all like, woohoo, getting so high, I'm so stoned. I was getting so nauseous from this cool cigarette with the toothpaste smeared on it. I thought, okay, I'm about to buy back all my goodwill by garping, which nobody wants in a closed environment. But luckily, I held my own. You know. I think I did pretty well actually, because it was my first time in jail, and all this was new to me. I was not yet. Everything I knew about jail was from the movies, which obviously didn't do me very much good at that point. But the joint was gone, the giggling was over pretty much. Thank God the cool was out, and we were going to sleep, and Rosemary's passing me notes. I want you. Come here, Marco. Well, I found out in the course of the day, too, that Rosemary this was her last night there. And she was slated to be transported to Brady's, which was the state mental hospital up in Pueblo the next day for some sort of indeterminate. She's crazy. I mean, you can kind of tell anyway that she was eccentric. I just kind of put a stamp on her, going, "Oh no, crazy lesbian loves me." That's enough. So when the note passing thing got there, I was a little bit more tense than I needed to be to fall asleep. So it was a long night. It had been a long night and day leading to that. And of course, my mother came and rescued me as soon as she could the next day. I don't know what you hustled to get the money. God love you, you're dead. She, cool, probably. She's ability. But that's another story. And she picked me up out front of the jailhouse. They gave me back my clothes, gave me back my ring, which I didn't put on again. I'd never get it off. And took me home to Manitou Springs, where I'm on her porch. But that's another story.